Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a tarot oracle reading, and Leo, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Leo, we all have a little bit of Leo in us somewhere. Hi, Stella. If you do have your birth chart, check out what house is Leo in. That may give you further clarity as to where you're going to find this energy most prominent. And also, this is a timely reading, so make sure you are watching it at the right time. But if it's been a while since I posted this, take a look at what was going on back then. It might give you further clarity as to your situation now. Do you want to come up here, Stella? Come on, love. There we go. Okay, I missed you for the readings. Oh, she says, too bad, I'm out of here. My cat usually likes to sit on my lap, but she's looking for food. I hope I fed her. I can't remember. Okay, so we do have the Page of Wands, the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords energy is the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck for the entire reading. We do have, okay, come love. Apparently I didn't feed you. You're going to have to be a good girl. Page of Swords is one of 4 of the pages in the tarot, and the pages would deliver information around the palace, and run small errands and tasks. This energy, they would start very young, around 7 to 14, because back then life expectancy was only like about half of what it is now. And sometimes that can give you a clue as to an idea of who the information might be coming from. But the Page of Swords energy, the element that he is representing is the element of air, and that is basically your thoughts. And the swords represent mental intelligence and discipline of the mind. He is, this energy is like a breath of fresh air. This can sometimes just represent you yourself getting the information in, maybe meditating or whatever, and like even a few days later, all of a sudden it's, aha, I have the answer. It just pops into your head finally. It can be that kind of energy, a breath of fresh air, the end of worrying, when you get the answer. And or also sometimes maybe finally finding the information that you've been looking for. This energy can also speak about, like in the old days, this communication would always be in person, but it could be a phone call, a text message. You might even get like something in the mail. This could represent documents coming of some sort. You could get an email. Maybe you're on social media and someone messages you. You could see an event posted and maybe attend that event and then run into someone that has the perfect information, or be, recommended to someone. And so this has, and another thing this card is representing is it's a good idea to keep an eye on what's going on in the world, even for 5 minutes a day. Take that 5 minutes to find out, what's happening with the leaders of the world, what's going on. You might get some really good, valuable information that you can use. Whatever's happening at the top of the pyramid is generally going to be trickling down. So this Page of Swords energy is representing some sort of communication. Oh, and I just wanted to point out that the sword is a double-edged sword. So one side is intuition and the other is logic. So this is someone who's thinking outside the box. He already knows what the logical question is. He wants to know what the intuitive answer is. And then if he applies his intuition and his logic, then he can come up with a creative solution. And we have the 8 of Cups. So this is about walking away from it's talking about walking away from some sort of relationship, basically. The cups in tarot represent love, like relationships of love. Now it can also, it quite often is romantic, but it can also be, love of anyone or anything. And it can be something that you love to do or be that you're walking away from. If it's romantic love, sometimes it can represent, we have 5 cups lined up and then 2 more, and then we have a gap between this 2 and this 1. And sometimes that can represent a third-party energy causing the relationship to, someone to walk away from the relationship. We have the full moon and the new moon in the background. Make sure you're using your intuition as well as your logic in this situation. This could also represent something you're walking away from or towards. In some cases, it can just be saying, you know what, I'm done with this energy and I want to go walk away to something that I prefer more than this. And we have the Queen of Cups coming in. So this energy here is from the bottom of the deck, and it represents your internal forces. And so your internal forces are, you have control over those. It's the what ifs in life. You might find yourself asking the question, what if I do this, and then they do that, or what if I walk away and then this happens? It's the woulda, shoulda, couldas of life. So the internal forces, you can't control external forces like how other people think or what they say, or if they love you or they don't love you. You can't control the economy around the world, etc., all by yourself, but you can control your response or your reaction. And it's always better to respond rather than react. We have this energy of the Queen of Cups. So she is one of the 4 queens in the minor arcana. And we do have the King of Cups out. These two have been showing up a lot in these past readings in this last week or so. So there's somebody like this energy, it can represent a couple that's getting into a relationship, but they've quite often also been coming up as parental energy or bloodline energy. So like the Queen of Cups, we may as well pull them both out at the same time here. The Queen of Cups is talking about, this is how you see yourself right now, being in this energy. This is the most maternal of all the queens in the tarot. She is considered, she's kind and considerate generally, and is the type of person that loves family. And so she, would be in a more traditional, both of these two would be in a more traditional relationship, like a traditional marriage. She might even be someone that would be like a trad wife, that type of energy, or your grandma, like back then, how they lived. It can sometimes represent energy, like someone who loves to build the home, and she loves, being around her children, and loves the cooking and just making a happy home. And this energy is talking about, she's also has a lid on her cup, and it's like big, it's a trophy. And so this is really important to her. Her family's important to her. And sometimes this can actually represent your maternal bloodline. So it could be, your mother, your grandmother, great-grandmother, and on. And sometimes it represents DNA energy because of the mitochondria in the cells having a specific DNA that's passed down from mother to daughter. And it can also represent like adoption, that type of energy, like someone who has a big enough heart to bring in, foster children, adopt children, that sort of thing. And then we have the King of Cups, who is, again, more likely to be in this traditional marriage. The King of Cups is, he's someone that when he offers his love, it's usually a solid offer. He's out in the middle of this, water that's quite chaotic. And so this is just representing that no matter what's happening, he has learned how to manage his emotions. So the chaotic water like this represents volatile emotion and chaos around. And he has learned to be in the eye of the storm, remain calm, and then he has his right foot out. He's ready to take action when needed, but he waits until the best opportunity when things have calmed down and people are more reasonable to address the situation. And this energy is also makes him the most available of all the kings. When he, comes forward with a cup of love, it's usually, more of a lasting love. And this can represent your paternal line, your father, your grandfather, and that kind of energy. This can represent aunts, cousins, like female cousins, that, people that you look up to as mothers, and, that doesn't necessarily have to be your mother. And same with this. This could be, people that uncles that you look up to as father figures, could be step parents as well. And sometimes this can also represent, if you're married, an energy of like if you have a spouse, it could be your in-laws as well. All right, so that's pretty much covered a lot of the bases here. And this one was here and this one's here. So this is talking about the energy of how you see yourself right now, your image. So you might be ready for a family, or feeling like, you'll have a family, you're in that energy. And this is talking about romance, creativity, and children. Now, so this could actually represent the father of your children as well, sitting in this position. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D world. So this energy is talking about, the coin, of course, because money is a big part of that. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want. If you don't have your health and you don't have love, you're not going to be living your best lifestyle. And the pentacles represent that lifestyle energy. And so this is a reward for following your path of glory, like staying on your path, being a good person, being the best version that you can be, going down that path and staying on it to the best of your ability. The aces are always about some new energy coming in. So like this could represent some sort of, some money coming in that would be representing a better lifestyle for you and your family. This is talking of, and it's sitting in your abundance, because here, this is kind of interesting, because we have this energy of the Seven of Pentacles. Now, the there's 10 pentacles in the tarot. That's the most you can have. And so the Seven of Pentacles, like if you think about the 10 of Pentacles being the most, that would be, billionaire, trillionaire energy. 9 pentacles, maybe multimillionaire. 8 would be millionaire. And this 7, would be probably around 7K, per year kind of energy. So this is like not a small amount of money, but this is talking about someone who is used to being very successful. And it's saying, I've invested this much time, money, and energy into this project or whatever this is. And this is what I've gotten out of it. And he's used to having way better return than that. So he's like, what is going on here? Like, he can't understand why his return on his investment is not what it normally is. And so he's trying to figure it out. Like, should I continue with this? Should I just quit, walk away from it, call it, and use what I have left from this energy and do something else? Because he's kind of fed up with the whole situation. And he's like, he's still, but it's bothering him. Like, where did this money go? He can't figure it out. And then we have the World coming in. So this is talking about, when the Fool goes on their journey, they start at the 0 point, and then this is the last card in that cycle. It's the card 21. It's talking about the World. And like, it's like saying that, okay, you have learned everything you can from this cycle. Now it's time to start a new cycle. And the World is representing the ending of that cycle and the beginning of a new one. Now, this is talking about you've been successful on some level, but it maybe isn't exactly the way that you thought, which is what we have here. This energy is kind of interesting because, we've got the Queen over here and we've got the King over here. Now, this is marriage, commitments, or creativity and children. And then this is your daily routine. So it's almost like something happens here to change the rhythm of your world. This is talking about your emotional foundation. This isn't a negative card in this position. It's kind of talking about moving out of energy that's stuck. This reward coming in. and maybe you get the answers to why. Now, this walking away, it's hard to say as of yet what this is, because this is internal forces. We do have a cup of love coming in here, and this is creativity, romance, and spousal energy. So if these two are already married, this could represent this energy of the queen, and the king has offered her a cup of love, and that is going to totally change her world. She's been on the right path, but maybe hasn't been able to make things work, financially so much, or her lifestyle isn't what it could be. And then that world ends because the King of Cups comes in with an offer, because we have a new cup of love here. But someone walked away from something, but we don't know yet. So we'll see, because this is talking about the internal forces. So what, maybe to be with this king, she has to walk away from something. This could be a second marriage or something like that. It could be, something's going on here, but we'll keep going. We'll figure it out. This is talking about the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is basically like the energy of new coming in. So that's why I'm like, I feel that this probably isn't a couple. I feel that they're about to become a couple. And then they'll combine their resources. And maybe one of them walked away from a relationship to be in this relationship. Or maybe someone walked away from them and now they're in that relationship. I'm almost getting a widower, like widow energy. Like maybe it could have something to do with that. I don't know. I don't usually pick that up, but I feel like that is a possibility, because it feels like a sad walking away, like not like, yoo-hoo, I'm walking away. It's more like, like having to kind of energy, not a choice. It was something that happened, and it is what it is. That's how I feel. So this is in your position of daily routine habits, and also your daily routine habits and the energy of your health sometimes. And that's why I'm picking up that there could have been something in that regard. So maybe this is someone, maybe you're someone that has been widowed for a while, or you were married before and it was a long time. You've been single for a long time, and just having to, when you're single, there's you're paying, like there's not that second income to supplement your lifestyle. And so this new energy that's coming in is going to change that, and that would represent this energy. And maybe something happened, like whenever it happened. I'm just getting, there's been quite a bit of time since this walk away and this new energy coming in. Doesn't have to be, but that may be true for you. All right, so let's see. We're going to get the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck for the external forces. Yeah, isn't this interesting? Because this is someone coming in from the past. Quite often this card. This could even be talking about someone coming in from your childhood. That's kind of interesting. Maybe, there's an energy like that. You haven't, you've been single for a long time because of this walking away energy. I keep getting this feeling. I feel someone maybe passed on, that they got sick, or it was something to do with that kind of energy. Left someone a widow or a widower, depending on your energy. And, you just have never wanted to be with anyone else. And then maybe you run into someone from your past. And this goes like way back. This card can talk about reconciliation, but it doesn't have to. A lot of the time, this talks about reconciliation, but I don't really get that. I'm not picking up that energy here. I feel like this is talking more about a reunion of some sort. So you might have gone back to, where you used to live, where you grew up or whatever, and there was a big reunion, or a high school reunion, or something to that energy. This card is generally talking about, reconciliation. I don't feel like it's reconciliation. I feel in this card it's more about reunion with someone that you knew from your childhood and that you haven't seen in a long time. And this is in commitments, partnerships, and marriage. I'm going to go with my intuition here. It's good to see that in this card. I feel like in this case, if it's someone from your past, I don't feel like there's a need for forgiveness. I just feel like this is like life happening, you know? And like with the energy right now, astrologically, we do have, oh, Stella, you bumped the camera. Yeah, I'll feed you when I'm done the reading. Be a good girl. So this is talking like, I feel like this is more serendipity. Like it feels like it's not, it feels like it's a breath of fresh air to run into this person. And hey, like, oh, it's so good to see you again. I haven't seen you for so long. And maybe you had, you know, something going way back when, and then, you know, but it was in like high school kind of energy, or even, you know, like like something, and then you moved away to go to college, and they moved away, and life happened, and you haven't seen each other, and now you see each other again. I feel like it's that type of energy. Okay, and then, oh, this is in the energy of external forces for like that part. And now, so let's see what happens here. We have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords energy is coming out, and this is in, now this is more that the underlying energy is this reunion happening, and then this is talking about the King of Swords. So I feel this could be the same king, and this could be that they're in this energy, and maybe this is talking about the occupation that they're in. So this represents someone that is probably well educated. It's an energy of, you know what? Maybe this is. It just popped into my head. Sorry. Maybe someone did pass away, and this is the king that you were with, and now a new love is coming in. Ah, that feels like so sad in a way, but like happy sad, if that makes sense. Mixed emotions. So I feel this is talking about this new king that is now coming through, and this is someone that is well educated, that uses their mind to earn their living, not like physical labor so much. This could be someone quite well educated. And then, you know, the swords, of course, they represent your thoughts, and they represent the element of air. And so that energy coming in could be someone that is using their thoughts to earn their living. This could represent a politician energy, someone that uses words wisely. Because your thoughts are expressed through words, and that could be written or it could be verbal. Sometimes this can even be a best-selling author, or someone that is doing research, someone that is an inventor. It could be an energy of a politician type energy, you know, someone like, we have a king here. So this is someone who's mastered their skill set. And so it could be someone like, if it's a politician energy, it would be like someone high up, president, prime minister, senate, congressman, that type of energy. If it also quite often can represent lawyer energy, like the legal system. So this would be someone that, if they're in the legal system and this is a lawyer, it would be someone that is an established lawyer, like in a partner in in a prominent firm. It could be, a judge. It could be someone that, is in that kind of energy. It could even be like a chief of police or a head prosecutor, that sort of thing. Sometimes this can represent the energy of a surgeon, a veterinarian, dentist, possibly a psychiatrist, possibly, that sort of energy. So someone, and that, like the thing about the King of Swords is that he understands that words can be very uplifting, or they can be used as weapons. And he also understands the power of words, that, as powerful as they are, that actions do speak louder than words. So he understands that if you give your word and then you don't back it with action, then your word is not of much value. Now, it's kind of interesting because we already have this reading going, and we don't have one wand in here to represent the fire of the Leo energy. It's like a very quiet Leo. We have love, and we have earth, and we have some water here, but we don't have, we have air, but we don't have any fire as of yet. Interesting, because this is a Leo energy, and Leo is definitely a fire sign and usually quite fiery. So that's why I feel like this is like a subdued energy for some reason. It's kind of different for a Leo reading. But I think we're going to have some, yeah, here comes the wands. So this energy might be talking about, you might be the external force coming into this reading, We'll see. We have which is really different, because this is talking about your internal forces. So I don't know, it's kind of like maybe this energy is talking about you're in this subdued state, and then you meet this energy, because this is your partnerships, your commitments, and also spousal energy. And you've met someone maybe that fires you back up again, creates some steam. And you have to remember that the characters in tarot are archetypes, so they're not gender specific. They can be masculine or feminine energy. So this could be a male in his feminine energy as well as a female in feminine. And the kings can represent, a male or a female in their masculine. So, you just take it the way it works. But it's a subdued energy, and then all of a sudden the fire comes in. So this could be a fire sign coming in, and that's why the energy is showing up. Or you could be a fire sign that's been subdued, and now you're fired back up again. And so this energy is talking about someone that is standing at the turret of their castle, and they're thinking, I might offer a cup of love. I want to expand my family. And this is someone that he has the world in his hands, but he's thinking, you know what? I have the world in my hands, but I live in a small town. So I feel like this energy is saying he wants expansion in his life. This is more typical fire energy. And so this can sometimes talk about business, and it can sometimes talking about passion, having passion for someone. And I feel like that's what's going on here. And then we have, look at that, conception. So this is talking about someone that maybe is thinking about starting a family, and they're looking at you and thinking, whoa. Now this doesn't have to be an energy of someone that passed on, but I do feel it is something like that. I feel like something happened, and that's what, otherwise these people would still probably be together. And so depending on the energy, how it is, they weren't in any hurry to have passion in their life again, and maybe have been really subdued ever since, and we don't know how much time has passed. If this is your reading, you'll have an idea. So this is talking about something being launched. This is a transition happening now in your life, coming from external forces, and it's being launched. It's saying it's starting to happen right now. This also can actually represent conception, like of a baby. So, that's kind of interesting. If this person is thinking about starting a family, could be maybe you're in that energy. And look at this. Someone has their eye on you. Now, this is talking about the energy. It doesn't have to be wanting to start a family. It could just be wanting to have that passion back in their life again. And this is talking about someone has their eye on you. They know there's plenty of fish in the sea, but they have their eye on this fish. And so they're saying, I really want to get to know you better. I want to know you. So this is really cool. This is talking about career and reputation, as well as maybe you met this person through work, or through traveling for work, and went, ran into someone out, and went to a meeting, and bang, there's this person that you went to school with, and you haven't seen them since you were kids, kind of energy. And it lights up. I'm happy to see this, because it feels like this was very subdued for a fire sign. And so this sometimes can represent online dating. Do we have, this is the page energy again. So this breath of fresh air, I feel it's talking about this energy of this coming in. And what's really interesting is right now, like tomorrow, we will have, on the 9th, this energy of Venus, which rules over love, and Jupiter, which rules over good luck, good fortune, come together in the sign of Cancer. And they haven't been in the sign of Cancer for like 30 some years or something. And that's about your home life. Like this is about creativity, romance, and that type of energy. So I feel like, or this is the home life, a new world. And I feel like this energy is coming in. I have a Cancer energy, a Cancer reading, where they were having some sort of energy coming in after being, feeling like not wanting to be in that energy. Maybe it's the two of you. Like it's kind of interesting, but the Venus and Jupiter energy coming together in Cancer, a lot of astrologers are saying this is the luckiest day of 2026 for love and money. And look at, we have those two cups coming out. And I'm pretty sure that Cancer reading did have that too. It's kind of it's kind of interesting. But anyway, it could be, you never know, there's stranger things that happen. But I feel like definitely this is saying that this is already moving forward. So it's really good energy for love and money. And this is an energetic upgrade for you. So this is saying this is in your position of blessings coming in. And the Magician is saying, as above, so below. And really, really cool, because I haven't moved it here yet. But the Magician is saying, as above, so below. And I feel like this is talking about, I feel this is the person that passed on. And they're smiling from heaven. If this is, like, I'm just getting like, whoa, a rush of energy here. They're smiling from heaven that you maybe have found. Maybe they've sent this person. Like, I just feel like so emotional right now. It's kind of, this person has so much love and wants you to be happy, you know. It's a very strong energy. And so this is talking about someone, I feel maybe, and this could be a parental figure that has crossed over and saying, yay, you finally met someone and you're not going to be alone. Wow. That's really, really powerful energy. So the Magician, this is an energetic upgrade in your blessings, and it's talking about creating a beautiful garden on earth. That your thoughts and everything that you've been working towards is able, you have infinite potential for that, and that you have all the tools you need. They're on the bench here. All you have to do is learn how to use them and know which one to use when. And this is also talking about an energy of, if you've ever had a garden and you left the tools laying around in your yard, they don't get up and do the work for you. You may have noticed that. So it's kind of saying, like, you have to apply yourself. You have to embrace this energy. There's nothing holding you back from this. Yeah, it's a real, like, I can feel this really strongly. This is like, it's making me want to cry, actually. Like, it's just like, so, not in a sad way. It's more like a bittersweet kind of energy. And then we have, saying that, you've been working so hard and you deserve to have this energy. This is talking about maybe you've been working on something and it's coming through now. And it's like you've already got 6 done. You're on the 7th. You've got 1 to go here. And then the hard work part is going to be over. And then you need to embrace this energy so that you can have the pentacle energy as well as the love coming in with someone that, this is, I feel, definitely someone from your past. It doesn't have to be from like when you were a child, but it's someone that you haven't had a relationship with before, like in an intimate way. It's a brand new energy. So really, really cool. So, hey, Leo. Hey, this is a really beautiful reading. There's a lot of love. If you've had someone cross over that was your significant other, or even if it's a parent or, someone that you really cared about, this energy is saying that they are so happy this is in motion for you. And I'm going to clarify this. If you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy. Consider giving it a like and comment. A subscribe if you resonate. I would be honored. And I am going to clarify now with my oracle. And this is Tales from the Vector. This is actually one of the paintings. This is actually an ink drawing that is a reproduction on canvas. And I started that back in 2007. And in 2020, I completed all 64 paintings. And now I'm working on bringing it out. But I'm kind of taking my time because I need to write it up, and I'm finding every time I do a reading, there's a whole bunch of new energy coming in. And so I'm just enjoying the process, working with all of you. I haven't had time to start up a YouTube channel. It requires dedication, and you have to have a bit of time on your hands, I feel like, to be able to apply, or I do, because I'm on such a learning curve with it. And yeah, so this energy... I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com. That's the name of my oracle. I have a gallery of all the paintings, and these are the numbers of how they're listed in there. I'm going to put them in the order that they are here in the description box below with the information. And if you want, you can check it out. It might give you further clarity. So the internal, first, this is that there's an Emperor energy sitting on this, the breath of fresh air coming in. So this could represent someone that has a lot of authority, is high-level performance. This is someone that is like a breath of fresh air for you, someone that is, they're at the top of their game in whatever they're doing, and someone that's, ready. Maybe if they're making a decision like this, it would be someone maybe that has also the similar energy where they're winding down their work a little bit. Like this can be kind of an energy. The emperors, they can be very high level performance. They wear their armor under their robe. In my oracle, this is actually a Russian dragon, and he's from the Ural Mountains. And high level performance, and it's fiery energy, really fiery. But I feel that this energy is not as fiery as it used to be, but it will be like it's more of a mellow type, And then this is talking about, I feel like this energy was really fiery when they were young. And maybe that was part of the reason why it didn't happen between you two or whatever way back when, because you were both in this energy and more invested. And if you were with someone already, or one of you was, whatever happened. But now this is the wishing star energy. So the shooting star is talking about having a really good attitude. And what it's saying is if you're wishing for something to happen, then you have to, you can't just sit there. You have to participate. So it's saying it means you don't have it. You have to not just sit there. You have to engage in the energy so that accept this energy coming in. And I do feel that this was having to walk away in a situation. I don't feel that this was like something that was voluntary, That's how I keep picking it up. And the Hierophant energy, this is about the Hierophant is bringing justice in from the spiritual realm down to the physical world. And it's talking about traditional structure. I do feel this energy is very traditional. It was a very traditional marriage. And so that would explain why maybe it's taken a very long time for this energy to move. Deception, there is some deception here. So there could have been something that happened. I'm still not picking up a deception between these two. I feel this is more talking about being able to get over it. It's kind of like, get over it already. It's kind of that energy there. And I feel like maybe, you may have tried dating and whatever, and it just it didn't work out. Like, it's just like, nobody matched this energy, basically. And then we have the guiding star energy. This is about being on your destined path. And I feel like this energy was kind of like, you didn't have that much time for romance or whatever. You dedicated yourself to more your career, reputation, your, like maybe you were working on, why do I get the word thesis, or, some sort of kind of energy around that. We have the North Star following your destined path. And now this is talking about the lifestyle not being as satisfying now. And so, it just could have taken you a very long time to find anyone that you were even remotely interested in. And then we have this energy of the need to be right. And so this is talking about sitting on here. And I feel like that's the energy, like, making mountains out of molehills and molehills out of mountains. So it could be talking about, like, every time you went out with someone, it was like there was something about them. No, that can't do it. Like, no one would do. And then we have this Libra energy, which is talking about when someone's mature enough to marry. And the Venus energy is here, and I feel like that's tomorrow that those two join. Venus then moves into the sign of, moves into Leo, actually, for until July 9th after that. So this energy sticks with you for a bit, this Venus energy. So it's pointing that out, and this is when you're mature enough and you're ready for marriage again. So it could be some sort of energy like that around who, that it's coming up. So, and it's, it's almost like you don't want to you wouldn't want to deceive this person. Like you would almost like feeling guilty if you were to love someone else, and this person's going, no, go for it. I want you to be happy. This, I just want to point out that when horoscope signs come up, I'm not talking about the energy of an individual. In my readings, I'm just talking about the sign itself and what can we learn from that energy. Because if you ever get your birth chart done, you'll notice you have most or all of the signs in your chart. And so we can learn from that energy. And, we can also learn about each other. And then we have the High Priestess. So this is talking about using your intuition and being joyful. Like, it's kind of like you met this person. When you run into this person, you just know this is the person. And then, and then look at the world's on top of that. So there we have it. All right, it's perfect. It's a whole new world here. Yeah, you see that when you make that decision, boom, there they are. I have a feeling the universe has been wanting to send this into you for a while, but you just weren't ready. Justice. It's only justice that you should have love in your life and be able to move forward again. That's the energy coming up. Gemini. So really interesting because the Gemini, we do have a Gemini new moon on the 14th. And isn't that the day? On June 13th, Venus moves into Leo. And then on the 14th, we have a moon in Gemini. And what's really interesting is that Uranus moved into the sign of Gemini about a month ago. And, it's going to be there for another 7.5 to 8 years. But it's kind of interesting because I feel like this new moon is going to be in Gemini. And it's almost like this energy of Gemini, like Uranus and Gemini is having the truth come out. So I just feel like this is going to be, and this is, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and it's very, having strong communication. I feel there's going to be a lot of really good energy coming out of this, the truth of this situation coming out. The thing that's Gemini, Uranus hasn't been in Gemini for since 1941 to 1949, and it will be in, Uranus will be in Gemini for the next 7.5 to 8 years. So it's talking about that energy coming in of the truth of a situation, like living in truth, I feel like, in this situation. And then we have intention. And so the intent, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but I feel like this is like a karmic space. And I feel like intention is kind of like wishing on something. You can have all the intentions in the world, but, like you may have been saying, next year I'll look for someone, or next year I'll, But when this happens, it's like, it's just meant to happen. I feel like it's been meant, it's destiny for you. And it's a kind of like a breath of fresh air after going through a lot. And then we have use your psychic ability, because I feel like that's your intuition is guiding you. And I feel like you'll know, like, so listen to that. And then we have the Cancer energy, and that's that energy of Venus and Venus and Jupiter moving into the sign of Cancer tomorrow for the luckiest day for love and money. And you have 2 aces here. It's confirming it on the blessings. Wow. And then we have jealousy. So this is talking about karmic space that we can fall into. I'd rather be better than bitter. So I just feel like jealousy is a weird karmic space to fall into. Sometimes we can be jealous of our own self, of how we were before, and I feel like it's almost like I can feel this deep sadness, like nothing measures up to how it used to be. Nothing will measure up to this person kind of energy, you know, but this person will. I feel like you'll find like it's not about comparing the two, but it's kind of like you feeling like your life will never be as beautiful as it was back then, but it won't be as beautiful as it was back then, but it'll be very beautiful in a different way, and you deserve that. That's the energy. You don't want to be jealous of your own self. That, you know, it's a weird concept, but when you think about it, sometimes people are jealous because of themselves because they were 20 pounds lighter, you know, 5 years ago, and they felt like they looked better. It's that type of energy. So I do hope you've enjoyed this reading. I feel like there's a lot of promise here. Consider giving it a like and comment if you've enjoyed it as well. It's a very different reading. It's very soft. I really enjoyed it. And consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy, and I'll be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now, Leo.